Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to ADHD Hobbies. And today we're doing some more Subnautica. Ugh, we're going to cover something that everybody agrees on, and there's just no debating, and that's the fact that this game is absolutely creepy as hell. I don't care who you are, jump in it. You're going to find a heebie-jeebie moment at some place, and the fact that it's just rated E for everyone blows my mind. It usually takes a bit more than that to get me, but the game does it. Anywho, enough of that. Today's episode, I'm going to go over some things to try to help you out and maybe tackle that fear of the unknown or that straight up creepiness that Subnautica gives. The game does provide a few tools and a few pieces of equipment that help navigate and get you through that. And I'm also going to throw in a couple other personal tips and tricks to go along with it. So if you haven't done it yet, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button and let's get to it. The first few things on the list, they're going to come across kind of basic, but once you get a system going with them, you'll understand. It's going to be the beacon. As long as you're playing the game correctly and exploring the shallow areas, you're going to come across the fragments for the beacons all over the place. And if you're lucky enough, a lot of the bigger wreckage sites have 2 fragments. You get them, the blueprint's done, we're good to go. Once you get the blueprint, print these bad boys up. You need to start making them. I try to run around with 2 or 3 of them all the time because the reality is Subnautica is an exploring type game and you're going to find yourself all over the place finding things that you wish you could come back to or things you want to explore but you know you just shouldn't go there right now, so you want to come back later. You can also use the beacons to help navigate around the map. You can set them up to give basically some cardinal directions. You can use them to mark places of danger. You can use them to mark safe paths so that you know how to get from one place to the next. But what really makes them shine is when you bring up your PDA, you can actually organize your beacons. You can put them in groups. You can color code them. You can turn things off when you don't need them, turn things on when you do need them. Overall, it's just a great tool. And once you really figure it out, it's going to help you in your journey and really take some of the scare out of things for you. A quick honorable mention here. Wasn't originally going to put this one on the list, but let's do it anyways, and it's going to be the Sea Glider. You're going to find the parts for it a lot like you would for the beacon. The only reason I am throwing this on here is because it does have this small little mini map, and it helps you identify places that you may be willing or not willing to go. Like this here, I can tell it's a small map. I can tell exactly where the entrances and where the exits are, so I don't have to worry about getting into these cave systems and getting lost and drowning, which can be a pretty big deal, especially if you're claustrophobic and just don't want to deal with it in general. Alright, from little maps to big maps. Next couple of things on the list, well, they go together much like the beacons and the Sea Glider did. You're not going to get one without the other. But it's going to be the scanner room. You'll find the plans for this or the fragments for this once you start exploring off in the grassy plateau area. It's not too tough to get to, just a little deeper. But once you build a scanning room, you'll be able to see a nice little 3D map of the area around you. And it starts out at 300 meters. But with upgrades, you can put all of them in there. You can take it up to 500 meters and see a wide range around you. And this allows you to see the drop-offs, the tunnels, all the nooks and crannies, and really kind of helps you get an idea of the surface and the land around you. And don't just build one. Build them everywhere. You can see here that I have one in the Lost River Zone in the nice little peaceful blue area next to a big nice blue tree, and blue Dabu I can't. Okay, I'm sorry. But I get a nice 3D rendition of the map here where I can see everything around me. I can see the drop-offs. I can see where I need to go without having the fear of looking off into these pits and just wondering what's at the bottom of it waiting for me. My other one, I also have one down in the lava zone. I know, this one you're going to find to be a little bit tricky, but it's amazing. It lets me see the volcano, the drop-offs, and the tunnels. But on to the next part of this. I mentioned those cameras. The cameras here are my favorite part. You can come up here, click on them, and if you find the right tracks or the right routes, well, you can go big old sea dragon fishing. These guys hunt around, and the cameras let you keep an eye on them. You can explore dangerous areas, and it really doesn't get much more dangerous than this without the fear of taking damage, without the fear of it hunting you or attacking you or anything. So the cameras are amazing. If you haven't tried using them for exploring purposes, definitely give it a shot. They basically remove the jump scare out of things. You just don't have to worry about it. Let's take a step away from crafting and gathering and just mess with some of the game's basic mechanics. I know it can feel like it's a lot of doom and gloom. If you're just getting into the game, it looks like every cliff out there is just into a pit of death. But if you just stop and take a quick look around, you can find a lot of these natural rampways that will lead you on down into a deeper area. And this is something that you can take with you further on, even once you get yourself the sea moth. And while you're out exploring down those ramps, another good mechanic to take advantage of in the game is daytime. This game has a night and day cycle that, man, anybody would be jealous of. It's phenomenal. It works really great. But when it gets dark and it gets terrifying. And if you're deeper, it's even more terrifying. Try to time your exploring. Do it during the day. Don't go out at night. Save nighttime for building on your base, for stocking up on food, or doing some of the little things that you can do in the shallows. And then save the daytime for coming out into some of these areas and doing some of your real exploring and see where you can push. As you can see here, we keep getting deeper and deeper, and it's bright. There is literally nothing to be worried about. It's not always going to be that way, though. We are going to come across places where the sun just don't shine. I don't know how to say it. And while you're exploring off deeper, off in the mushroom forest, well, nice little segue here. Make sure you stop and grab the moon bay fragments. The moon bay fragments are going to be critical to what we're going to do next. And once you get enough of them, build it and take a look at the upgrades. What we're wanting to grab from the moon bay fragments is the sonar. If it wasn't for the sonar, there are simply places in this game that I would not visit. There are caves, there are tunnels, there are places that you just cannot see the far side of or the bottom to. And sonar is the problem solver for all of it. It takes a little while to get to. It is also going to be available on your Cyclops, the big ass submarine, when you get it, but it's going to drain your battery. Be careful. But without sonar, navigating some of the more tight places or even getting over the fear of not being able to see what I'm doing would be absolutely impossible. So if you haven't tried out sonar for your exploring, it's definitely a tool to go get. One of the biggest bonuses about it, one of the biggest perks about it is unlike the map that you get with the scanner room, sonar will show you the visuals on the big baddies that are around. We all hear them roar, we all know they're around, man, but some of the places are impossible to see, especially if you're trying to do anything up around the Aurora. But once you slap sonar on, it takes all that away. It makes it easy to spot them. You can stay out of their way and get about your business. For my last two tips that I have, I saved them because they may come across a little controversial, but doing what I can to help, so here's some ideas. But getting a map. I'm not ashamed to admit it. When I did my hardcore run, I went map hunting and I came across a couple. I'll make sure I'll drop the links down below. But having a map was so nice. Once I was able to establish where I was at and where my beacons were and stuff, I could see where my safe routes were. I could see where I needed to go. It really simplified things since the game does not offer an overall map that lets you see the area that we're in. And for my very final last piece, well, if all else fails, if you can't get any of this stuff to work, if the maps just aren't doing it, you should take a look at the modding community. There are some great mods out there. There are some people that put some fantastic time and effort and just dump their souls into the mods. And while, yes, you're going to find some that obviously are going to make it even more terrifying, there's also mods out there to change up nearly anything you can think of or just turn Subnautica into a base builder game, which I am not against either. You might have noticed I didn't say anything about the prawn suit or the Cyclops, and well, that's because you're pretty much invincible when you use those anyways. The prawn suit doesn't take much damage for anything, and the Cyclops, it has plenty of defensive measures. It has the sonar that the sea moth has on it, as well as a shield on it that helps just kind of make you vulnerable to damage. As long as you're running silent when anything's around any of the big leviathans, nothing's really going to bother you or attack it. You see, I leave it parked here in the volcano all the time. I'd like to thank everybody for sticking around and, listen to me ramble again. If you like the video, please make sure you're subscribed. I spend a lot of time on these videos with the cuts and the chops and the edits and things. I'd really appreciate it if you just hit the subscribe button. It means a lot to me and, the encouragement. So until then, till next time, next video, next adventure, next game, all that next stuff, you have a great day.